Hey, what's going on with it, ladies and gentlemen, ponies and genticles? This is the one, the only, Criticism Guy 2009, aka Nintendo Free 2011. Before I do begin real quick, I guess this video is sponsored by Badass fucking Mexican Gel, Gorilla de las Notas. Really fucking badass. Mocha de Gorilla. Just in case you're wondering what that is gorilla. It's not real gorilla shit, but it's just gel. So I use it for my hair most of the time. It's a hot mess under there, that's why I haven't been using it for a couple days. So without further ado, let's begin. The top 10 weakest Pokemon of all time. I did do this kind of sort of like my worst design Pokemon of all time. I said this is the weakest one. So first one we got on the list is Barboach. Water ground type Pokemon. One of the old school, middle school type Pokemon for a Hoenn generation. He ends up evolving into Whiscash later on, which I really don't like Whiscash that much either, but it is a little bit better. First Pokemon to ever learn Fisher, obviously. I think he's based off a real actual Pokemon that's in Japan, not Pokemon. A fish in Japan, excuse me, a real life animal, amphibians, excuse me. Another real cool little thing about him, even though he's weak as shit, but he was able to learn Mud Sport and Mudbound for the first time when it came out in 4th Gen. Just saying, just putting it out there. That's all I got to say about Barboach. So coming in number 9, Tynamo. I didn't like Tynamo that much, but you know what? I give him a chance as being the weakest Pokemon, one of the weakest Pokemon, number 9. Because he was one of the first electric Pokemon, they should make him electric flying instead, since he's able to hover around like that. He evolves into Electros way later on. I forgot his second evolution because you need the Thunderstone to evolve him. The thing I didn't like about him very much is that he didn't have a really huge moveset. It kind of had a shitty moveset. I think he only knew Tackle and freaking, Takedown, and that was it. Maybe Thunder Shock too, and it took a long ass fucking time. I think it was 40 or 43 until this thing evolved into the second evolution, which I can't for the life of me remember, which there's actually a little list back there that I have a Pokemon for black and white, but can't really see it too well. But if I was able to tell you what it is, I know it's not Electros, but it's a completely different Pokemon, in my opinion. Let me see if he's over there. This is taking forever just to find this little fucker. Hold on a sec. You're gonna have to give me a little time on this because I'm trying to find that little bastard somewhere. Not Tynamo, I know that's his name, obviously. Well, if I didn't, then I wouldn't have no dictionary of Pokemon in the back of my head. Let me see. And he's not really showing up anywhere. Why? That is complete fucking bullshit. Oh, there it is. I think it's something. I don't know. I can't read it from here. I think it's Electron or something like that. But Tynamo, I wasn't crazy about him. So let's get to the next Pokemon, Goldeen. The thing I didn't really care about Goldeen that much is that even though he's a first gen old school Pokemon, I never really gave a shit too much about Goldeen. He only knew Horn Attack and Flail and Tackle. Had a very small, poor defensive move of weak attacks. I think Horn Attack and Horn Drill was like the only thing you could learn. Once it got to Seeking, then he could learn Waterfall, Surf, Hydro Pumps, hardcore fucking water type moves. But before that, it's kind of shit. Even though it's one of Misty's favorite Pokemon, it's basically my weakest Pokemon list. So that's number 8. So number 7, if I can get to it, Wurmple. I didn't care too much about Wurmple, even though he's in 3rd generation. He was able to evolve in, of course, Cascoon and Silcoon, and then Dustock and Beautifly after that, which I like Dustock a little bit more. It had a little bit better defense, while Beautifly had a little bit better attack than defense, because its defense was crap. The only thing he had as a special ability was Shield Dust, and I think he was able to have Swarm, I'm not sure. But another thing I wasn't really crazy about him is that the moveset was real small. Obviously, he's like Caterpie and Weedle combined. I think he was Bug Poison, I'm not sure. It might have just been Bug type. And it was one of Jesse's Pokemon in the Hoenn generation. I didn't really care about it too much. I know you guys can't see it that well. But yeah, that's Wurmple for you. Coming in at number 10, 9, 8, 7, I think it's 6 now, yeah. Coming in at number 6 was Finian. I didn't really care a lot about Finian in 4th generation. Even though it evolves into Luminion, I didn't really like Luminion that much either. It had a really small choice of word set. Moveset, yeah. Another thing I didn't really care too much about, he knew Waterfall and Whirlpool, which I really can't stand the shit out of Whirlpool. 2nd generation was like the only place where Whirlpool was available. I didn't really like it too much after that because it was an HM before it turned into a TM. And another thing I really didn't care too much about is the character design on there. I didn't like it too much, even though it resembled a butterfly in the back of its wings. So it mostly focused more to girl Pokemon fans than it did the guys. That might be one of the reasons why I really don't care about it too much. So yeah, that's basically Finian in a nutshell. Number 5, I know Finian was real big on Pokemon Adventures and Pokemon Explorers of the Sky, Pokemon Mystery Dungeons, but I didn't really like him so much. Not C-Dot, Shroomish. Shroomish I didn't like that much due to the fact, even though he had that really badass ability which was called Effect Spore, which can either paralyze, burn, sleep, or poison, not freeze, or put to sleep Pokemon or whatever. The only thing I didn't like about him, he had really super weak ass moves, and a lot of this shit was crap. Maybe his speed was better when it evolves into later on, which is Breloom, but after that, before that, he's basically crap. I'm sorry. That's all I gotta say about him, because I'm not gonna waste too much time with him. Coming in at number 4, Burmy. I didn't really like Burmy that much because it took way too fucking long to evolve into Mothim. Wormadam is like level 30 or 35, I think he was able to evolve. It took almost 46 or 47, I think, when it evolved into Mothim. That's the thing that pissed me off. Only the males can evolve into Mothim and only the females can evolve into Wormadam. That didn't piss me off. That was understandable. And he has 3 different cloaks. He's got this grass cloak, and then he's got this one, the worm one. I couldn't find the steel one anywhere, so sorry about that. So that's number 4. Number 3, I'm surprised. I'm super surprised I didn't put this at number 1, but I put him at number 3 because I was a little nicer to me. It was one of the first Pokemon cards I ever got. Unknown. And this is the M version because that's actually my real life name. If any of you guys don't know my DeviantArt shit, you'll see it. It's Manny Wolverines. So basically, Unknown, the only reason he really, really fucking sucks and he's the weakest Pokemon of all of them, he only knows fucking Hidden Power. And that pissed me the fuck off so much. It's basically a useless ass Pokemon. You can't use it for jack fucking shit. Really. And that pissed me the fuck off because the reason why that pissed me off is this thing could have had a lot of good potential, but no. Game Freak decided to put, oh no, let's just put Hidden Power on it and it'll be all good. Which is basically fucking shit. The only way you're going to get this thing to level 100, basically, you use a whole bunch of rare candies on it, and that's it. And then in 4th gen, they beefed it up a little bit to 25 and 30. It still wasn't enough. I'm sorry. You're going to have to use rare candies and use a ROM hack, Axe and Replay. Do whatever the hell you can to get this thing to 100. There's no way in hell he's going to learn any of the moves. He's basically like a Ditto. Number 2, Nincada. I didn't like Nincada that much due to the fact, even though he evolved into Ninjask and Sajindra, which I like Sajindra a little bit more, by the way, because he barely gets hit by any moves unless they were super effective. Like fire types, ghost types, what else? Rock types, and bug types, I think. And that was it. Everything else was literally not hurting him at all. The thing I didn't like about him that much, he didn't learn that many good ground type moves. He could learn Mud Slap, but that was basically it. Another thing I really sucked about was just checking the time over there. It's 3:30 West Coast time right now. When he evolved into Ninjask, he still wasn't that good. He was extremely weak. Very disappointing Pokemon. This Pokemon character design was pretty badass, but as far as him being weak, that's why he's on my number 2. Number 1, the weakest out of the weakest Pokemon. You think it'd be Magikarp, but no. I gave him a chance because he's one of the Pokemon I grew up with. Fucking Surskit and Ghastly. It had to be a tie here because Surskit, I don't know what it was. I really didn't like Surskit that much because even though he evolved in Masquerain and his speed was fast as hell, the only things he learned was Bubble. I think he learned Takedown, I'm not sure. Silver Wind if you gave it to a move tutor, and then the only other move that was strongest enough was Bubble Beam, and that was it. He was basically a really weak, pathetic Pokemon. He was the 3rd Hoenn generation Pokemon, the first water bug Pokemon ever to be introduced. And they gave it this crap. It was pretty sad. I'm sorry. And to top it all off, his attack was very fucking horrible. I'm sorry. It was just very sad. Pathetic excuse. I'm sorry. Ghastly, the reason, I know he was a 1st gen Pokemon. I grew up with him and everything, but the thing is, he didn't cut it. I'm sorry. It just wasn't enough for me to cut him off the weakest Pokemon of all time. Number 1, the reason that he is number 1 weakest Pokemon, the only shit that he knew was Lit. Literally. That, he might have learned Tackle and I think Spite. The only good ass moveset that he had was Hypnosis, and that was it. Every other moveset that he had was mierda. Shit. That's what it was. Crap. I couldn't stand it. I did not like it. When he evolved into Haunter, he got a little bit better, and I couldn't ever get Gengar because I had to do link trades. Like I said in my strongest Pokemon video when I was talking about Machamp, I was kind of antisocial at that time. I didn't have a lot of friends and shit. I only had either friends that I used to go to church with, or when I used to go to see my cousins and shit back when I was in New York before I moved out to the 702. That's the only reason I don't like him so much. And bonus Pokemon, Venipede. The reason I don't like Venipede and that much, oh, and then there's Patrat right there. Patrat, I forgot about these guys. The reason I don't like them that much is because Patrat and Anorith, they got really bad weak staminas. They can't last that long for the life of them. And let's get to Venipede. Venipede, I don't like him that much, even though it evolves into Whirlipede, which is still shit Pokemon. When it gets to the Scolipede, that's when he starts getting a lot more badass. When he uses a Steamroller and everything, it's pretty much a hardcore Pokemon. You don't want to fuck with it. It's a Poison Dark type, I think. I'm not sure. It might just be Bug Poison instead of Poison Dark, like Drapion is. But a little bit hardcore. And I think his speed's a lot faster than Drapion too. It's just attack and defense is kind of crap. His special defense is alright, but not his defense. His physical defense. That's what kind of pissed me off about it. I think Sludge Bomb and Venom Shot, those are the first moves that he was able to learn. And Steamroller, of course, I just said that. I think it might be able to learn Rollout. Don't quote me on that. Maybe. And yeah, without further ado on that, that's all I got to say about that. Hopefully you like this video. So like I always say, is what it is, ain't what it ain't. See you when I see you. You guys have a good day. Have a good night wherever you're out around the world. Peace out. Take care later. Take care and goodbye. And like I always say on YouTube, sorry for that loud clap. Hope I didn't blast your fucking stereo speakers away. Yeah. Just stay safe. Have a good day. Have a good night. Like I said, you guys take care, and I will see you soon. All right. Lates and goodbye.